Good day and welcome to another exciting class in basic electronics. The topic for today is reading resistor color codes. This is a very interesting topic and I'll be teaching you how to decipher the color markings on a resistor. But before we go into that, we want to look at what is a resistor. Resistor, like we have earlier said, is a passive component in any electronic circuit and is a two-terminal electrical component that implements electrical resistance as a circuit element. In electronic circuits, resistors are used to reduce the current flow, to adjust signal levels, to divide voltages, bias active elements such as transistors, and terminate transmission lines, among other uses. So the basic function or the primary element of a resistor is to do what? To resist current flow. And the unit of resistor is the resistance, that is ohms meter. Now we want to look at, there are two types of resistors. Resistor can be a fixed resistor or it can be what? A variable resistor. So we have here a fixed resistor and then we have a variable resistor, okay? So this is a variable resistor and this is what? A fixed resistor. Now, the categories of resistors are also determined by the material in which the resistors are made. Some are made with carbon, so we call them carbon resistors. Some are made with films. It could be metal films, it could be plastic films. So if it's a metal film, we call it a metal film fixed resistor or a plastic film resistor. We also have the wire wound resistors and we have the axial lead resistors. We may not have these resistors here to show you, but on your screen, you'll be seeing the examples of these resistors. Looking at your screen right now, you can see an example of the carbon resistor. By the left, you can also see images of variable resistors. There are different images of the variable resistors shown. You can see the one I just showed you right now, and the other ones by the right. These are also examples of the way they can look. A variable resistor basically is used to vary resistance. So you can have, for example, 0 to 100 kilo ohms. So when you turn the knob or adjust the knob, you can get various resistances. You can also see the metal film resistor. The cross section is showing you the material in which they are actually made of. And examples, or other examples, are wire wound resistors. So these are just common examples of resistors and the materials in which they are actually made of. So we want to look at the reading of resistor codes. So we want to look at resistor codes. How do you decipher the color markings on a resistor? Now, there is a table that shows or that acts as a guide. If you internalize this, you can actually do what? Decipher the codes by merely looking at the colors. However, there are different bands. There are different types of resistor, in terms of the bands. And I will show you what I mean. We have a resistor. We have identified this as a symbol for resistor in our previous lesson. And then we have markings. You can have markings on the resistor like this. When you look at a resistor that has about 4 markings, that is known as what? A 4-band resistor. A 4-band resistor, okay? You can have some resistors that have about what? 5 markings. And if there are 5, it's known as what? A 5-band resistor code. Now we also have one that's about 6. So those are also 6-band resistors, okay? So when you look at the markings, you can tell how to read these resistors by looking at the color codes, which we are going to look at shortly. However, for this topic, we are going to be looking at 4-band and 5-band resistor color codes on how to read them. So let us look at the screen. The screen shows you the table to how to read a 4-band resistor code. So you can see there are different colors ranging from black to white. So in that order, you have to memorize it. Black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet or purple, gray, and then white, in that order. Now let us look at the board. So we are going to write that in that order. Okay, we have, let's call this the first band. We have the second band, the column for the second band, and we have the third band. So we start by writing it out. Let's use this space. So we have black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, gray, and white. So this is our first band. So I still draw the resistor. We are reading 4-band resistor color code. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 of them. Okay, this is the second band. We also have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nothing changed. It's the same numbering. And then we have the third band. This third band is known as the multiplier. Okay, this is known as the multiplier. So this is at 0, nothing. So you have 1 times 10 raised to the power 1, 1 times 10 raised to the power 2, and so on and so forth. But I like to break it down for my students so you don't start thinking about what is 10 raised to the power minus 1 and all that. So this one means actually 1 0. 2, you just write 2 zeros. 3, you have the 3 zeros. 4, 4 0. Just like that until we get to what? 9 zeros. And so okay, we have also what we call the tolerance. The tolerance can either be gold or silver. Okay? So the gold or the silver is plus or minus 5%. The silver is plus or minus what? 10%. So this is what we call the tolerance. And for the third band, gold is 0.01, and the tolerance for silver is 0.01 on the third band. So it has a value on the third band, but this is the tolerance plus or minus 5% for silver, for gold, and silver is plus or minus what? 10%. All right. So how do we, having internalized this, when you come to the school, we will teach you how to memorize this, but I would like you to memorize it on your own and give me whatever slogan or way you use to memorize this. I have my way I memorize it. I want you to also do the same. So when you come over to the school, I'll ask you that question, all right? So let us go ahead. So so let us assume, okay, that this is our what? Our gold. That is the tolerance. This is our tolerance. Now this is our first band, because there is a method you use to read it. When you are having the resistor, you look for the banded end. That is the place with the tolerance, the banded end. There is a considerable distance between the tolerance color and the other markings. You will notice it. So you can see that the distance between here and here is quite much than between here and here and here. All right. So this is what we call the tolerance. So this can be silver or gold. So when you hold this with your left hand, okay, you read from right hand side to what? To your left hand side. So this, okay, it will be your first band. This will be your second band, and this will be your what? Third band, while holding it on your left. You read from right to left. Well, if you can turn it around, okay, you hold the banded end on the right hand, you can read from left hand side to the right hand side. Okay, so I am holding this banded end on my left, so it means I'm going to read from my right hand side to my left hand side. So this is my first band in that case, the second band, and the third band. Okay, so let's assume that this is brown, this is red, and this is also red, because you can have multiple colors. You can even have the same color all through. So what it means is that on the first band, you go to the first band. What is on the first band? Brown is 1. So you write 1. On the second band, you have red. This is the second band, the column for the second band. What is red on the second band? That is 2. You write 2. And the third band is what? Red. Remember, the third band is the multiplier. So the third band is red. And since you know that red is 2, definitely on the third band, you need to just put 2 zeros behind it. And that is it. So brown, red, red is 1, 2, 0, 0 ohms. Okay? Now, what is the tolerance? This is silver plus or minus what? 10%. So if you are to bring it down in kilo ohms, divide by 1,000, you have 1.2 kilo ohms. That's divided by what? 1,000. So this is 1.2 kilo ohms plus or minus what? 10%. That's the tolerance. So if you do 10% of this, you add it, 10% of this minus. This is the range, the permissible range that it can offer the resistance. So this is a 1.2 kilo ohms. So when you practice and practice, immediately you sight a color, you can actually do what? Tell the value of that resistor. So from today, we know that any resistor that has brown, red, red, with a silver tolerance is 1.2 kilo ohms. All right. So let me use the resistor before me, or the resistor on the screen, to further elaborate this. On your screen again, we have a resistor that you are looking at. The resistor is yellow, purple, green. Okay, the white is actually a silver. So we use white because silver may not give a good appearance. So we have yellow, purple, or violet, and green. So holding the banded end with our right hand, you can see it on the right, we read from left-hand side to the right-hand side. The left-hand side is yellow. So that's our first band. So our first band, yellow is what? 4. Yellow is 4. The second band is violet. Okay, and that number on the second digit, that is the second digit on the second column, number 7 is violet. So you have 7. And then the last is green, that is the multiplier. That is green on the third is what? 5. So we have to add 5 zeros. Okay? So when you add the 5 zero, you discover it is about 4700,000. So that will give you about 4.7 mega ohms. Okay, when you divide it accordingly, you have 4.7 mega ohms plus or minus 10%, because the tolerance is what? is silver. Okay? So this is the foundation for 4-band resistor. So I want you to practice. Whenever you see a circuit board before you, try to identify the resistors. If it's a carbon resistor, is it a fixed resistor? Okay? Or a variable resistor. And if it is a fixed resistor, try to read the color code on the body. So you need to practice. As you practice, you will be able to read more and more resistors. We have quite a lot of them for you to read when you come over for your practical class. And when you do that, you get more skills on reading resistor color codes. I have a practice question for you on the screen. So when you look at your screen right now, you see the practice question. So I want you to write down this. We have the gold, which is the tolerance. We have green, black, and brown. So holding the gold on our right hand, reading from left-hand side to right-hand side, our first color is brown, second color is black, and the third is what? Green. I hope you know the answer now. So the answer is what? 1 mega ohm resistor. So that is the value for that resistor before you. Resistor we are going to be reading is the 5-band resistor. So like I said, the difference is that it has 5 bands. So the reading pattern is just the same. So each time you pick up a resistor, the first thing you are going to do is to look at the number of bands. So that will tell you how to read it. Now, the only difference is just on the tolerance, the color that is used for tolerance. For the 5-band resistor, it is the brown and the red is used for tolerance. So in other words, you will not be expecting to find gold, okay, most times on the 5-band resistor. So when you look at the 5-band resistor, you will see that the only thing we are going to use this and just show you the difference. The difference here is that you have 3 bands and then you have a 4th band. So the 3 band continues with 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have the 9, and you have the 9, okay? And then the gold still maintains this position, and then you have the 4th band. The 4th band is now the multiplier, unlike the 4-band resistor, where the 3rd band was the multiplier. So you have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for 3. The 4, 4, 0, 5 is what? 5 zeros until you've gotten up to the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you have 9 zeros, okay? Good. So when you're going to be expecting to have the tolerance. The tolerance here will be brown, and brown is plus or minus 1%, while red is plus or minus what? 2%. Okay, so 2%. Okay, so you can see that the 5-band resistor has a higher level of accuracy because the tolerance range is plus or minus 1% or 2%. Okay, so let us take a reading from, let's use this as an example. So let us assume that this is red. Okay, then we can have a blue. We can have red again. So you can have that color inside. You can have brown, and then you can have, let's say, orange color. Okay, so with this, you can now read. You see that this is orange, you look at the separation, because at this you have a wider gap between this and this. So that tells you that is the tolerance, okay? So when you do that, this red is not part of your color, but that is the tolerance, okay? So this is now reading from left to right. This is your first. Okay, let's make this so we don't have too much colors. Let's make this orange as well. Okay, so we have this as your first band, the first band. We have the second band. This as your third band, and then this is your fourth band. So this is your tolerance. Okay, so the first band, while looking on the column, you have orange. Orange is what number? Number 3. You write it. Second band, you look at the color, brown. That is what? 1. On your third band, red. Red is what? 2. You write 2. And then the fourth band is your multiplier. Of course, orange, which is 3. And then you expect to have what? 3 zeros. Okay? Plus or minus, red is what? Plus or minus 2%. So this will give you 302 kilo ohms plus or minus 2%. So you can see that extra value, 2. So instead of having 31, you can have 312. So this is more accurate, plus or minus 2%. Or if it's brown, plus or minus what? 1%. So this gives us a greater precision on its usage. So like I always suggest, you practice what you have, okay, on your 5-band resistor by looking at what? At the table that is in your material. It will help you to do what? To familiarize yourself with these color codes and help you in your reading. The 5-band was actually created to accommodate a greater accuracy, okay? So most resistors in this series have a tolerance rating of plus or minus 2%. Now, other tolerance values are also shown for completeness, okay? We also have the 6-band, but we're not going to cover it in this module. So, like I always said, practice, practice, practice. Pick up different values of resistors. When you see them, try to do what? Read the color codes. So when you practice, you will, from time to time, begin to know how these colors are arranged. So when you pick up a resistor, with just a glance, you can tell the value of the resistor. So this gives you a greater skill, a greater proficiency over others who will be going to look for multimeters to carry out this measurement. So when you have a lot of resistors, maybe a pile of resistors to sort through, you pick them one after the other. With a glance, you can tell their color codes, and then you can sort them out and use them for maintenance purposes or for whatever thing you want to do with it. So till we meet in the next class, which will be reading capacitor color codes, have a nice day. Thank you very much.